everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting with me today. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I do special effects makeup looks, kind of, I try to do interesting, imaginative makeup looks. I do crafting, I chat, I do commentary when I feel like it, when the mood hits me. And I just do whatever I want to do that moment I make a video. So, you know, anything goes with this channel. But today's video is about Emily Artful's response to Creepshow Art's video that Creepshow or Shannon posted on New Year's Eve. We've been, I think most of us have been, or most of us who are familiar with the situation have been waiting for Emily's response video. I think that most people who know about this trust Emily over Shannon and have just been waiting for Emily to come forward and talk about her side. Not because we believed anything Shannon said, but it's just believed that Emily has the right to defend herself to this whack job Shannon. I'm sorry, she's a whack job. I know that that's not, you know, PC or whatever, but she's a whack job. She is. But Emily's video is, oh, I have my notes in front of me, but further away so I can read them and still kind of look like I'm trying to make contact with the camera, because you know my brain doesn't work right. So Emily's video is 1 hour and 35 minutes long, and she does a little introduction with it, and I'm going to just play that clip for you right here.
Note that all of what is discussed within this video should only be interpreted as speculation. No matter the mounting evidence against a specific party, nothing has been formally ruled in a court of law. I do my best within this video to adhere to using speculative language opposed to speaking in absolute terms. If at any point I slip and speak as if something is fact when it is not pertaining to my own life as I have lived it, please disregard that as simply human error. Also, please note that the vast majority of the script was written and recorded within a week of Shannon's response being released. I had made a few connections and discoveries that other creators have since made after my main recording was already finished. If I do not give credit to a piece of evidence, it's only because it was already included in the initial recording. I've made sure that any subsequent discoveries made by a third party and not by myself are properly credited within this video and within my description. I had to make a lot of edits, inclusions, and addendums because more and more information started coming to the surface. Thank you so much for your patience, and let's get into the video.
Now, Emily states that a lot of people told her on Twitter that she shouldn't respond, that, you know, Shannon doesn't deserve a response, and we should just let it go and you know, not give any kind of credence or whatever to Shannon and what she has to say, because at the end of the day, we all know she's full of it. We all know she's creepy, you know, and but Emily felt that because some people don't have Twitter, and a lot of people who watch her on YouTube may not have Twitter, that if she made a video, then those people may be confused at what's going on, and if she made a video, they would be able, better able to understand what all is going on. And she feels like she should be able to tell her side of things. She has that right. And I have to say, I agree with that. She absolutely does have a right to fight back. And actually, Emily was very respectful in her video, whereas I would not have been, you know. But you let your emotions take over, you get angry, you get hyperventilated and everything, then you come across as loony and not so credible, you know. I know it's hard to not attack someone who's attacking you, but especially attack someone like, you know, get attacked by someone like Shannon, you know, who has shown, she has literally shown us that she can't be trusted. And I'm sorry I'm drinking, my throat's really dry. She also states, Emily also states that she's not going to go over every single one of Shannon's points, and I don't think she has to. I don't think it's necessary. In my opinion, she could have just made a video that said Shannon's completely full of crap, and that could have been the end of it. But I know people want more, and Emily felt like maybe not that she owed it to people, but that, you know, this witch is going to try and tear me down with her little disaster piece. I am going to defend myself, you know, and I agree with that approach. She references the BS letter she got from Shannon's attorney. Now, Emily doesn't call it a BS letter. I call it a BS letter. It's a really weird letter, and just in my opinion, with my background dealing with attorneys and their correspondence, it's just a really weird letter in my opinion. She doesn't show the whole letter, but she does share bits and pieces as it becomes relevant to what she's talking about in her video. But her refusal to comply with what they're asking in the letter, that's when Shannon posted her video, when she said, you know, no, I'm not taking anything down. So that's when Shannon posted her video. And Emily goes over the beginning of Shannon's video, which is inserted right here.
If you are seeing this video, it means one of two things has happened. Either one, my lawyers negotiated with Emily's lawyers and we reached a private settlement which resulted in some form of retraction, or two, I took Emily to court for defamation and came out the other side.
And she basically stamps the lie out that Shannon told right here, you know. Like, nobody did nothing, you know. So Shannon was clearly trying to use intimidation to get Emily to take her videos down. But as we all know, that didn't really work out for creepy Shannon. It didn't work out for her. You know, people try that all the time. I'm going to talk to my lawyer. I'm like, ooh, not a lawyer. Not a lawyer. Oh my God, that's so terrible. I was asked the other day what was one of the biggest I was asked by a lawyer what was one of the most stressful things I had to deal with when I was working. And I went, no offense, lawyers. Not because I'm afraid of them, but because they're so pushy and they don't have any extra rights, you know, in what I was dealing with in the area I worked. But Emily states that the leaked document, you know, the 112 page one that wasn't the original video released, and she said that was likely authentic because it shared at least one bit of private correspondence between Shannon and another user, which when you watch Emily's video, if you haven't already, you'll see that part. And Emily says she'll get more into the document later. And that document was unhinged. If you know what I'm talking about, it was or if you don't know what I'm talking about, it was Nicholas Diorio came forward first with it. It was a leaked document. I don't know who leaked it or who would leak it. Maybe it was Shannon. I don't know. But it was longer than the original script for her video and even more unhinged than that original script. In Emily's letter that she received, it states that Emily's video is the sole reason Shannon had to leave YouTube. No, that's not true. And I think most of us know that isn't true. She had to leave YouTube because of the lolcow stuff. Well, she didn't have to leave YouTube, but she felt she had to leave. But it was mainly because of the lolcow stuff. Because Emily probably would not have come forward with her video, at least at that time, if not for the lolcow stuff. Because she wasn't doing it to throw further you know, rocks at Shannon, but she knew then that, oh, well, this is good because now they'll believe me, you know, because Shannon was so adored for some reason. So yeah, Emily didn't willy-nilly release her video. The lolcow stuff came out, and then she was like, you know, I don't know if this is exactly what Emily thought, but it was a good time. I don't know what is wrong with you dogs. Whenever I try to make a video, the dogs are all over me. They don't care about me any other time of the day except when I'm trying to make a video. But anyway, the lolcow stuff is what started causing the problems for her. And then her lies about, oh, I've been hacked, or, you know, I've been, I forgot the word she used. my IP's been spoofed, that's the word, you know, that, all that ridiculousness. And that was before Emily's video. And I remember people like abandoning ship, like unsubscribing from Creepshow and being like, oh wow, she is creepy. Because that alone, just forget about the Emily stuff for a second. The lolcow stuff was creepy and weird. It was bizarre. She was arguing with herself as different anonymous users. That's bizarre. That's bizarre behavior. I know it's to get more views, but, you know, she wasn't doing badly on views, you know? But yeah, people didn't like the lolcow revelations. And then Emily made her video, released her video, you know, which was a very credible video in my opinion. I found Emily credible, and I still do. And she does mention that the heat coming down on Shannon started from the lolcow stuff, and it absolutely did. It absolutely did. Because I remember that, because I was like, I can't believe any of you trusted her, because I always thought she was such a snake. Because I'm like, the love bombing and the just, when she would talk about somebody on her channel, like she would talk about Tina Bobina, for example. I'm just making a name up. We have to all go visit Tina Bobina's channel and just let her know how much we love her. I absolutely worship her. She's the most talented, beautiful, wonderful, amazing, strongest person I've ever seen, and she deserves to be bathed in rose petals every day. She is the most awesome, incredible, amazing person in the universe. You know, who does that? But except for someone who's trying to hide the fact that they're an asshole. You know what I mean? So Emily points out that Shannon has projected her own bad behavior onto Emily more than once. Referencing the lolcow leak, Shannon accused Emily of self-posting and lurking, which is no surprise because Shannon's been doing that, or was doing that. And we knew after the lolcow leaks, we knew that Shannon was self-posting. And we also, after Emily's video, we knew that she was projecting also, you know? And the whole goal of Shannon's video was to make Emily look bad. It was a hit piece to kind of drag Emily through the mud and to say, see, I told you Emily would do this. See, I'm not the bad guy. See, I'm the victim. See, you know, that's what Creepshow is trying to do. And Shannon's video was a failure in an attempt to work in her favor. It did not work in her favor at all. I mean, she may have a few people that are still stupid enough to believe her, but I'm sorry, if you are buying Shannon's side, I think you're stupid. I'm sorry. Emily states that, now if you're giving her the benefit of the doubt, I guess I could say you're not really stupid, you're just a lot nicer person than I am. But if you just flat out believe her over Emily, then you're stupid. Okay, Emily states that all Shannon's video does is prove she is, in fact, Emily's stalker. She tormented Emily and still tried to make a hit piece to drag her down with her. And a lot of the proof Shannon had on Emily was from deleted or defunct accounts that she would have had to archive information from at that time before they were deleted. But she wasn't stalking her, you know? And this includes trying to exploit Emily's mental illness when she was a child. She was a mentally ill child. And she shared a clip from an old Creepshow Art video. I think it was actually from, I think it was Camellia. I'm not sure. But it was a clip from a Creepshow Art video where she's talking about a 14-year-old girl is being, you know, dragged for something. I don't know if it was a girl or a boy, but that person is being dragged for something. And she was like, they're 14 years old, just a kid. Their brain is still developing. Don't, you know, harass her. That's what Creepshow was saying. But then she turns around and takes Emily's life when she was 13 and try to make that information that can be used against her. You know, say she's a liar because she was a crazy 13-year-old, you know? It's just when it came to 13-year-old Emily, Shannon's stance totally changes. just a hypocrite. Is that hypocritical? Like, it's this way for one person, but for another person, it's not, you know? So Emily also talks about her own mental health and drug abuse, but I suggest you just watch her video on that matter. It's the 5th chapter at about 13 and a half minutes in. Maybe a tad bit more than a 13 and a half minutes. But, you know, she's got it divided into chapters and has them labeled. So she discussed the R, and again, I will refer you to Emily's video as she discusses it very thoroughly, and I'm not comfortable discussing her experience. So with that, Emily acknowledges that the posts she made as a kid were inappropriate, and she doesn't try to hide it, but she's a grown-up now, and she states that some of the screenshots and claims are just wrong. Some even seem to be from fake accounts that were not ever Emily's account, and she's not saying that was Anthony and Shannon. She's just saying it's suspicious, you know. And Emily acknowledges her mistakes, talks about being a pick-me girl and how she was not the nicest person in the world, especially online with some of the posts she makes. But that happens, you know. There are a lot of... I wasn't a mean 13-year-old, but I was shy. I was, like, really shy. But I know my brother was a mean 13-year-old, especially to me. But, like, I remember being jealous of rock stars' wives and stuff like that, but never to the degree of, you know, doing anything about it. But, you know, that happens. We grow as people. And like Emily says, you're still the same person today you were 20 years ago or 15 years ago or whenever. You've just grown. You've changed. You've learned how to be a better version of yourself, you know. You know, from childhood to teen years to adulthood. And she also discusses Shannon saying all of Emily's relationships were abusive, according to Emily. All the relationships Shannon listed were abusive, and, well, Emily corrects the list for her, and she crosses out all of the relationships Shannon got wrong as abusive, and she points out that Shannon took any remotely negative statement Emily said and turned it into a serious allegation from Emily's point of view. And Emily points out it was wrong, and Shannon was basically, the list was wrong. And Shannon was basically, again, trying to twist the story to suit her needs, to say, look, she accuses everyone of being abusive and that have been in relationships with her. And you'll see on her corrected infographic, which I'll put somewhere, that the actual abusive relationships were only 4, which included Shannon, Anthony, Bryce, and another ex-boyfriend who's unnamed. So, and I'm sorry, I know this is running kind of long, but we're getting to the end. Emily's video is very interesting, thorough, and much easier to get through than Shannon's video. And Emily covers a lot, and I feel like she did a great job. She did a really great job. She, and you could just hear the sincerity in her voice, you know what I mean? But she did a great job defending herself, setting the record straight, and digging an even deeper hole for Shannon. Now, I don't think Emily's trying to bury Shannon, but the truth needs to be told, even if it's for Emily's own mental well-being. And if that means Shannon gets dragged through the mud, she gets dragged through the mud. It's her fault, you know? And the video is powerful, in my opinion, and really shows how Shannon is willing to go, how far Shannon is willing to go in her lies, you know. And I'd be interested to see what Shannon has to say after this video. But then again, we're just like, you know, let it be over. Let it be over for Emily's sake, not for any other reason. I don't know. Will Shannon come back with another video? I don't know. I really don't know. She is so on, you know, up her own ass about it all that she may very well come forward and be like, well, no, this isn't true. But I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe, but the bigger part of me is like, I think this is over. I don't think she's going to say anything else, do anything else, try anything else. You know, no one trusts Shannon, and what about her husband? He's got nothing to say in defense of himself. Is it because he can't defend himself because he's a terrible liar? Oh, and she shows tweets and stuff from him. He is just a creepy weirdo. And I think that, honestly, just because of how he hasn't said anything, I think maybe he is being nasty to Shannon about, you're going to clear my name for me, I don't know. But anyway, that's it. I'm sorry this video ran a long time. I just really wanted to talk about her video. Now, there's a lot more of the video I didn't really discuss parts of in here. I didn't want to give too much away because I want you to go watch Emily's video. But if you want me to, I can do a part 2 covering the rest of it. But I think that just watching Emily's video would be enough. You don't need me. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Look at my Rose Apothecary mug. I love that show. Putting it there. I got it at Five Below. So I'm going to get off of here, and I will talk to everyone later. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to. Get on my heart wall. See that? I got a lot of hearts up there, and I want your heart up there. So that sounded awful. I keep hearts in a jar by my bed. But anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.